Hi guys, I'm Jessica Coyne and this is Yoga for Beginners. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video that doesn't have anything to do with the physical aspect of yoga. It's actually about one of the foundations of yoga, which is one of the basic principles, what we call Ahimsa, which means non-harming in Sanskrit. And what this has to do with yoga and what this has to do with me is because part of that to me means making the choice to not do any harm to not only humans, but to animals and the earth as well. So I am a vegan. I have been vegetarian since I was in my teens and gone back and forth vegan, vegetarian, and I have been a solid vegan for the past 3 years now. So I've had a lot of people asking me, you know, what I eat, and a lot of people who are interested in ditching meat, ditching dairy, ditching eggs, and picking up a vegan or a plant-based diet. There's a lot of great reasons to go vegan. There's environmental reasons, there's health reasons, there's ethical reasons, and whatever reason you are choosing to go vegan, it's a great reason. Personally, I'm vegan because of animal rights. If you don't know me or a whole lot about me, I am an animal rights activist. So I do care very much about the welfare of animals. I'm also a human rights activist, so I care about the welfare of children, seniors, LGBTQ, you name it. I'm pretty much out there fighting for it and standing up against any type of cruelty or just any unjust treatment of anyone. Human, animal, earth, other planets, whatever. Everything should be treated with kindness. So that's why I personally am vegan. You may choose to go vegan for the environment. What I really would like for people to know is that all of the things that you're hearing about the global crisis, they are not lies. It is not propaganda. It actually is a global crisis. I can tell you that the meat industry dumps billions of gallons of animal blood, urine, fecal matter, and other bodily secretions into the waterways every single day. It is changing the chemistry of the oceans. It is killing our coral reefs. It is killing the kelp forests. And those things are just as important to the earth for air quality as the rainforest. Another thing that the cattle ranchers are doing in the rainforest is they're plowing millions of acres of rainforest to make way for cattle farms. And they are also plowing part of that to make way for crops and vegetation to feed the cattle. So 80% of the soy crops that are grown in the rainforest are to feed the cattle that are being bred and raised in the rainforest. So we are burning down the rainforest at an alarming rate. It's really scary. The rainforest is so moist, it's so wet that there really are not natural fires there. The only fires that are started there are human-made fires. So then we've got the fish industry. The fish industry is tearing up the oceans. And you know, I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody here, but it's the truth. I mean, our ways have to change. We can't keep forcing the government to change, to enforce environmental rules if we are going to keep damaging the environment with our decisions. So anyway, the fishing industry, let's see, so where should I start? Okay, so fishing nets kill all kinds of animals. They kill sea turtles, they kill dolphins, they kill whales, they kill other fish that are not meant to eat. Fishing lines that, if you're fishing in the ocean and your line breaks, your line is gone. And it is going to wrap itself around a plant or an animal indefinitely. So you can just depend on that happening. If you are buying fish that was farmed, same type of thing is happening with the farmed fish as it is with the farmed land animals. Their poop has to go somewhere, and there's this whole chemical cycle in the oceans. There's pH, there's salinity, there's temperature, there's what's called the nitrate cycle, and nitrates are basically fed by fish poop. And when that gets out of control and that's dumped into the oceans, it's raising the temperature of the ocean, it's raising the pH, and it's a huge just domino effect of things that happen. So we're killing the oceans with our fish farming. So if you're not doing it for the animals, do it for the environment. If you're not doing it for the environment or the animals, do it for yourself. You don't hear many doctors out there saying, oh, have a meat-based diet, eat more meat, eat less plants. I don't think that you'll find any doctors that are touting the benefits of a zero plant diet. It lowers cholesterol, it lowers blood pressure, it helps you to lose weight. It's good if you've got diabetes type 1 or type 2, you get rid of a lot of sugar, a lot of fat. I myself lost weight just by going vegan back in the 90s. With the first time was it the 90s or I don't know, it was a really long time ago when I went vegan. And we didn't have a lot of vegan junk food back then. We went to the store and asked for tofu, and that was kind of like, you want what now? So being vegan back then was a little bit different than it is now, but I lost a lot of weight, and I've just kept it off. So that's the physical, personal health reason to go vegan. There's also the ethical reasons. The ethical reasons that I am vegan are because I don't feel that it's right for us to harm another animal. The actual death of the animal in the animal industry is not as violent as the treatment. Well, it actually is violent, but it's not as harsh as the treatment of the animal leading up to the death. Cattle are, if you're consuming dairy, you are consuming breast milk from an animal, and that breast milk is only created because this animal is lactating, because it's pregnant or it has had a baby. And cattle love their calves just as much as a human loves her baby. They take the calf away after a few days of birth. Even these local farms do this. So they take the calf away. The mothers cry for the calf. They scream for the calf. They mourn for the loss of the calf, and the calves are confused and scared. They're taken away from their mother at birth. And it's terrifying for them. And then they're sold for veal. If they're not female cattle that are going to be kept to continue to be raised for dairy, they're killed for veal. So you are, in turn, if you're buying dairy products, you are buying into the veal industry. So just keep that in mind. And then there's so much pus inside of the milk, because if you've been a lactating mother, you know that infections to the milk ducts are very common. And when you get an infection, pus forms on the infection. It's dead skin cells, and that is allowed. The FDA in the United States, I don't know what other countries do, but they allow it as well. They allow so many units of dead skin cells or pus to be in the cow's milk, goat milk, or whatever type of milk. So you've got that, what happens to the cattle on dairy farms. And when a cattle is being killed for food, they're bred, even if they're organically raised, even if they're humanely raised, as soon as they're sent off to slaughter, that humane treatment goes away. They are shoved into these trucks that are not climate controlled. So if you think it's 100 degrees outside and they're climate controlling these trucks for these animals, they're not. So if you get concerned about seeing a dog in a car on a very hot day, then these millions of these animals are going through that the same way. So they're shoved into these not climate controlled trucks, whether it's freezing cold or extremely high temperatures, and they're transported for days. So they won't eat or drink for days, and it's extremely hot. They're living in their own excrement. It's terrible. I can't even imagine that. and they're prodded with electrodes. They're beaten. It's awful. You can't even imagine. And like I said, the humanely treated meat, that humane treatment stops as soon as they are sent to slaughter on that truck. And once they get to the slaughterhouse, not only can they hear the cries of the other cattle, they can smell it as well. They can smell other cattle being killed. So when they go into these slaughterhouses, they're loaded into a chute, and they're supposed to be rendered unconscious by a bolt gun. But because a lot of these slaughterhouse workers who are exploited as well, we usually use people from other countries who are forced into this work. They are not highly trained, and they're doing it very quickly. So it's about getting as many animals through that line as possible. So sometimes they miss the mark, and the animal is not rendered unconscious. It is just hurt badly, and then they slit their throats. And this is for cattle. You know, if you've ever seen somebody's throat slit in the movies or something, they don't die right away. They asphyxiate. They start to choke. This is the reality for these animals. So that's what's happening to them, and then you know, then they die several minutes later sometimes. For pigs, they are rendered unconscious. The quickest, the most efficient way for them to kill pigs and slaughter is to asphyxiate them with CO2. So if you've ever seen that happen or know what that is it carbon dioxide? Yeah, carbon dioxide. It basically burns you from the inside out. So you don't die right away from that. You don't become unconscious right away from that. It takes minutes for that to happen, and you basically choke to death. And then they're unconscious, and then they're pulled up onto a hoist, and then their throats are slit so that the blood can drain out. So to me, that is unacceptable to do to another living being. You know, I am of the mindset that all of God's creatures were created for a reason, and they were all created with the belief that they were going to be treated kindly and equally. So we abuse and exploit and take advantage of these creatures, and to me it's just heartbreaking. But I could go on and on and on about that. Anyway, that's why I'm vegan. So whatever reason you're going vegan, I applaud you, and it's a great decision, and I think that you are on the path to wellness and a happy life where you can sleep well at night. If you're looking for some good documentaries to watch The Game Changers, watch Dominion, watch Earthlings. You know, there's so many documentaries out there. Watch What the Health. They're great documentaries. But the reason I'm putting this video out is because a lot of people, like I said, wanted to have some information on going vegan, and I am going to be doing a whole vegan challenge, a 21-day vegan challenge starting on January 2nd. So I'm going to give you January 1st to continue to just kind of wean yourself off of it. We're going to talk about shopping, we're going to talk about recipes, and we're just going to talk about that whole vegan lifestyle, or that whole plant-based lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to live healthy. We're going to do this, guys. We are going to turn over a new leaf in 2021. So let's get rid of this 2020 BS and let's move forward. We're going to do something good for ourselves, something good for the environment, and something good for all the other living creatures on this earth. So anyway, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and then hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you can be notified anytime I post new content. And yeah, so keep up with me, guys. Every single day I am going to post a new video. It might just be a small recipe, it might be something big, but we're gonna do this 21 days of going vegan in 2021. So I will see you in the kitchen. Namaste.